What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and this is a bit of an emergency upload because BBIG just crashed massively. We're down about 20% off of our close. Really bad news came out for the stock in after hours. Let's take a look at the chart so you can see just how bad this news was. You can see the massive crash that we just experienced in after hours, which we are rebounding from a bit, right? We're bouncing off of this 570 resistance level or support level quite nicely, right? We had two bounces off of it, so hopefully we will hold above that and potentially regain where we were. But basically, some really bad news came out for this stock in an SEC filing. I'm going to cover that right here. But first of all, before you understand the bad news in the filing, you need to understand why this stock was running up, right? This stock was running up because of the TYDE spinoff dividend that a lot of people were expecting on October 22nd, which was supposed to be the record date for the spinoff dividend, right? Basically, if you were holding the stock on the 21st, the day before October 22nd, then you would be counted as someone who is holding BBIG and thus would be eligible to receive TYDE shares, basically a spin-off company that would be given to you as a dividend for holding BBIG. And that's why a lot of people were holding this stock and expecting that it would run up in the next couple of days and weeks, right? They were expecting that there would be massive buying pressure because people would be buying because of the TYDE dividend. Now, in their most recent SEC filing, which just came out about an hour ago, they did release a statement on this. And they said on October 6th, 2021, the company filed a current report on Form 8K announcing that the record date for the TYDE spinoff dividend had been changed to October 22nd. Okay, so that's the news that we already knew, right? They're just covering what we already knew in that report. And now it says the company is elected to change the form of registration for the TYDE spinoff dividend such that it will be filing a registration statement on Form 10. So basically, they need a new form. Upon successful completion of the standalone audit, the company anticipates filing the Form 10 the week of October 25th, 2021, with a record date approximately 60 days post-filing. So this is the most important part, right? The Form 10 will be completed October 25th is when they expect to be able to do it, and the record date will be 60 days after that form is complete. So basically, they're saying on or about December 27th is when the actual record date for the TYDE spinoff dividend will be, not October 22nd, December 27th. So that is the cause for this massive downturn in price, right? A lot of people were expecting that in the next 3 days, we would be getting the TYDE spinoff dividend recorded at least, right? And now that that's not going to be the case, now that it's actually going to be, 60 days out, way over somewhere over here, people are a little bit more bearish, right? People are starting to sell off their position. And a lot of likely algorithms that were able to track this instantaneously, because it is pretty much instantly as soon as the report came out that this thing started dropping massively. And let me just point out to you how good the TA on this is, right? We have a couple of support and resistance levels that we've drawn, and you can see almost perfectly how BBIG reacted to those. And this should just prove to you, first of all, that algorithms are absolutely trading off of the TA. You can see that we had a massive dip all the way down to here, and then the wick of this bar moved down to our next support level right there before rebounding. In just a single minute, we acted on two support levels and then bounced up to this resistance level at $7 before bouncing down all the way to our ultimate support right here. And now we're recovering. So just to point out the real benefits to TA, if anyone's interested in short-term trading, right? If anyone's an actual day trader, not just holding this stock, just to point out some of the benefits. But back to the actual BBIG news. Basically, what this is meaning is that not that you're not going to get the TYDE shares, right? If you're still holding the stock and you're willing to hold until around here, December 27th, it says about, right? So we don't know the exact day that that the record date is going to be on, right? It says approximately 60 days is their wording. So on or about December 27th. And it's really disappointing. I don't know what the executives were thinking, giving us this big presentation and then changing the date on us just a couple of days before we were supposed to have the record date. It obviously caught a lot of people with their pants down who were expecting this thing to continue running up in anticipation of the dividend, right? So it really doesn't seem very fair. It seems almost like they may have had some kind of deal with institutions. Maybe shorts are benefiting from this. I'll check the short interest right now. So yeah, here we have the short interest on Ortex, and you can see that there are still 25% of the free float being shorted. So that's still a significant percentage. I don't know what exactly went on in the back rooms where they were discussing this whole change in the filings, right? Where they actually decided to make this change. I don't know who was in the back rooms making these decisions. Potentially, it was some institutional advocates who were maybe wanting BBIG to move down in a big way, maybe some shorts that didn't want to cover, right? potentially from not just shorting, but also worried about a gamma squeeze. There were a lot of open interest call options that were in the money that are now out of the money, right? All the $8 call options and all the $7 call options, not to mention the 650 and 750. So it is a really bearish move that we just experienced for BBIG. And there are surely a lot of people who are benefiting from this. So, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not saying who's responsible or why they decided to make this change, why it was necessary. But, it really just doesn't look like a great situation. It doesn't bode well for retail investors, right? This was obviously going to hurt retail because retail cannot react as quickly as these algorithms that were likely trading the minute these filings came out and just massively dropping the price, right? So obviously retail was going to suffer from this. This really doesn't seem very fair, in my opinion. It seems kind of like the rug is being pulled on people. And, a lot of the time, that's just how it goes. Institutions find a way to do that. And if they can really drop the price on something, then maybe they'll use the executives to do it. And I'm not accusing anyone of doing anything. It just seems awfully suspicious that a couple of days before the dividend, this huge change was announced that's pushing it back 60 days, right? So, I can't really recommend one way or the other. This isn't financial advice, whether you should keep holding the shares. If you're waiting for the dividend, then you can wait for the dividend. If you don't want to wait for it anymore, then, that's up to you. Maybe you want to get in right before the dividend date in 60 days. That's about 2 months from now. So, there's no telling what's going to happen tomorrow with this, right? We'll just have to see at market open where this thing ends up and what happens with it, because obviously we are experiencing a lot of volatility. We'll likely continue to play off of these support and resistance levels, but really this thing after hours is trading a lot more volatilely, right? Because the natural volume is gone, right? There are no retail traders. There aren't, just any small traders in here. It's mostly just big players who are in here after hours who have the time to just sit at their computers or really set up an algorithm to sit at their computers and just monitor Vinco Ventures SEC filings page and trade instantly based off of that news. So that's what we've got for BBIG today. Really disappointing news. I hate to see this kind of stuff because it just screams institutions to me, right? It just seems like institutions always seem to get the bigger end of the stick. But that's just how it goes in the market sometimes. You got to be really careful. So I hate to bring this bad news to you guys, but that's what I've got for you on BBIG. Very sorry to anyone who has lost money, That's just how it goes sometimes. That's why it's always important to keep your position sizes small and not allocate too much capital to any one play. So other than that, guys, hopefully you can still salvage this night and enjoy yourselves. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.